Hello, everyone. I am Master Rein.
And I'm Silly Squirrel.
And we are Revive Me Bro Games, a gaming podcast where two best friends discuss all things cooperative games, multiplayer games, and technology. Silly Squirrel, my best friend, how you doing, bro?
All good, man. All good. Just nice to be back recording a pod.
Yeah, dude. It's been a minute. But, yeah, man, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, no, I think, considering like we're both like, we're married, we have a lot of responsibilities. I think this once a month pod deal has, I kind of like it. It gives us enough time to like prepare, and like at least get a pod a month.
Yeah.
But, we do it for the fun, we do it because we like doing this and we like sharing with everyone. So I'm just excited that we got of what we got in store right now for everyone.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely have another great topic for everybody today. But yeah, it's definitely like with the timing and with our schedules and responsibilities. I definitely like that we have the time to at least do this once a month.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it's been a challenge for sure. And let me tell you, for everyone that does that releases a podcast a week, my gosh, I applaud you. Like
those beasts, man. Those beasts.
Tell me your secrets.
Seriously. Those people are crushing it, literally.
Yeah,
so
like it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible because it's like we wish we could do it like, once a week.
Oh,
but Master Ray and I have such different schedules that it's a challenge for sure.
If we were in the same time zone, that would help a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's start with that.
Yeah. You're right. That's for sure. Like maybe like meet once a week and do it like in a basement or something.
Oh, I know. That'd be dope. That would be dope. That'd be so cool.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. But anyways, here we are, and we're super excited for the topic we have at hand.
Absolutely. So let's definitely get started. And everybody, just so you know, we are available anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also find us on Instagram at Revive Me Bro Games and Twitter at Revive Me Bro. And if you like this podcast and you want to support us, please subscribe and rate our podcast. Also, check out our YouTube page with our latest streams and, of course, the pods. This is the best way to support us and spread the word, of course.
Yeah, please spread the word. And again, if you have Apple Podcast or like just an Apple device, just, if you have a chance, just put in 5 stars or, 4, hopefully nothing less than that.
We are 5-star men!
Yeah. And maybe like a quick review, because that will really help our podcast spread and feed the glorious algorithm the metrics it needs.
Yeah, and I think with what we're going to discuss today, I think you're going to understand like what we're trying to get at. So definitely help us get the word out because we've got like a lot to say, important things to say. So
yes, we do.
Yeah, absolutely, we definitely do. All right, Silly. So I'm really excited, bro, to get started with today's topic. It's one we touched on before, but wanna get us going with the topic today, bro?
Yeah, of course. So this is the second episode of Philosophy of Gaming, as you know. It's
sorry.
I honestly was thinking about the Halo music too. It's like Philosophy of Gaming. But anyway,
of gaming.
But anyway, this is a segment that Masterin and I want to really develop the more we do this, and where we attempt to discuss what we think every gamer should know so we can collectively create a better future for all of us. And what I mean by that is just, talking about like why is it that we play, the different types of players, what does it mean to play a certain type of game all the time, like just really going like in the nitty-gritty of like gaming as a whole and thinking more beyond just it's so much fun. Like, why is it that, like, finding the whys for everything that we do, right?
Yeah.
And so for today's topic, we want to discuss what is a gaming community, and a lot of us, with Discord and Steam and all these other platforms, like, we tend to play with a certain few people, right? Like, we have like our select few, but we also, play with a lot of people we've never met and we become friends with. And
if you play Warzone, sorry to cut you off, you play Warzone, you play with a couple hundred people at a time,
Mm-hmm. and sometimes those people become friends.
Yeah.
So it's like so, and so we want to discuss a little bit about that, of like what makes a gaming community, and what does that mean, and some of the responsibilities really
Yeah.
that entitles that, because even though this is all fun and games, like you're still dealing with real people.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. We also, because of the gaming community and things that tie us all together, we also want to mention 3 gaming sins that we should be avoiding. And I have a little bit of a confession to make. My purpose with doing this episode, at least like in my head, in my spirit, is that I want to bring us all together, to kind of be like a family, a gaming family, because we kind of are in indirect ways. But I want to direct our aggression in a more collective and better way, so that way we can better get what we want.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just gonna say it now. I will fight you to death regarding The Last of Us 2 and some of the crap it's been getting. I am one of the few that says no, they did the right thing. But let's not get into the nitty gritty, right? If you want to contact me about that, just message me on my Instagram or something. But it's kind of like we kind of want to delve into a little bit of that, like not necessarily The Last of Us 2,
Right.
but more of like, like the reaction and the way people use their platforms to really like voice their disagreements, and sometimes a little bit more than that.
I completely
yeah.
agree. And in the future, I think we're going to deconstruct the Last of Us situation, the Last of Us 2 situation, because it really does tie in with literally everything that we're going to talk about today. We're not going to we're not going to focus on the Last of Us. That'll be for a future episode. But the problems that we have with the Last of Us, the problems that we have with Cyberpunk, they are recurring things that if we were more united, we could better deal with them.
Exactly. And it's like, again, nothing against outrage, but there's a time and a place, and we feel like in future episodes we should focus on like how to direct those disagreements and stuff like that. But anyway, like today we're going to focus on the gaming community as a whole, and the 3 gaming sins we should all avoid, or at least in our opinion, we should all avoid.
Absolutely. All right, so let's jump right in, bruh. So the gaming community. This is what I personally believe is what ties us together, from various platforms, from tabletop gaming to PC to console to mobile. We are a body of people who spend money and time playing these things. Period. That's what I think is what ties us all together. Again, is the fact that we spend money and we spend time doing these things. Those 2 things are massively important, because what that means is that there are companies out there that want to obviously supply you with what you're demanding so they can make money, right? Supply and demand. It's the market.
Mm-hmm.
And what we are, and what I'm saying is that we are a market of people as well. And it's
Exactly.
very important to understand that when publishers and developers look at us, they don't always see gamers. They sometimes see money. Sometimes they see cash.
Yep.
And it's
Dollar signs.
dollar signs. And that's important, because wherever you're spending your money, that's literally how you're voting in the gaming community and in the gaming world. Silly thoughts, bruh.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think Angry Joe puts it best. And I know we mentioned him a lot of times in this podcast.
Shout out to Angry Joe.
Shout out to Angry Joe, if he ever gets a chance to listen to us. But anyway, I think Angry Joe says it best when it's like, if you want the different publishers and developers to listen to you, you have to let them know with their wallets.
Yep.
And I mean, you see that with games like No Man's Sky or Fallout 76 and all these other games where it's like, okay, clearly they screwed up. And so what do people do? They stop paying, or they stop buying, and they move on to other things. And so I know it's not a fix-it-all, but yeah, the moment you buy a game, you're putting some faith that you'll get some entertainment out of this, even if it's a bad game. Like, if you get 5 to 10 hours of entertainment out of it, hopefully you feel like you got your money's worth, And so you're absolutely right. It's a leap of faith that we're taking for the most part when it comes to buying a game, especially at full price.
Oh yeah, especially at full price. Which again, we always talk about the Game Pass. This is why the Game Pass is such a big deal, and why it's going to be a moneymaker for Xbox. Because now you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to buy games, you can try them out, all this kind of stuff, blah, da 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 da, all that kind of stuff, right? But it does matter how we spend our money with our games. It does matter because like we are if a publisher is like, hey, I made a ton of money selling a blue gun, the
Blue,
blue,
is that
blue.
for blue?
Dude,
Are you out of your
but
mind?
that is such a solid rant because somebody else
It is.
literally did the same thing. Like, it's just literally reskinned the thing and sold it, and it was just fucking
Mm,
blue. So
I know. Valorant, I'm looking at you. How dare
how dare
you?
you? Like, and I get that's a free to play game and all that stuff, but there is, certain
There's
limits.
limits,
There's
man.
limits
It's
because
like
people end up paying.
at least make the thing look like dope. Like have a skull head and it's like blue, but like
Oh yeah,
just
yeah.
blue. Hella
Just
lame.
hella lame. Yeah, dude. Exactly. So it matters how we're spending our money because somebody's just like a fat cat, rich whale out there, and important quote unquote whales, right? Just out there, just like, oh yeah, I don't really care. I'll buy all the skins on this thing. I don't give a fuck. I want all the skins, right? And just doing it all the time. It's a free to play game, but you've literally spent $1,000 on the game. Like you're kind of ruining. I hate to say it, you're kind of ruining the DLC and the stores for the rest of us because you're literally just getting it all for the hype for the cloud or whatever for whatever it may be, or just be able to say, oh, I have all the skins or whatever, or I have all of the blah 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 X Y and Z in a game that a free to play game has to offer. Like that kind of mentality, like I get it, like it's cool and it's it's fun to open up everything and have everything, but damn it, that creates an environment for these publishers that they just want to like really take advantage of that, and it got to a really bad place with certain games like Star Wars Battlefront 2, right? Like you could buy loot boxes and you had to literally buy like the heroes and villains, right? Like if I remember correctly.
Yeah, yeah, and totally like with Battlefront, I think it's a great example. But what we're trying to pass on is that um, when it comes to the gaming community, we need to really be a little more what's the word I'm looking for? Like more involved when it comes to these things, but because like obviously like publishers and developers they want to make a profit and that's totally understandable.
That's
But it's like
fine. Yeah.
the moment something starts working, they'll start replicating that,
Yep.
especially publishers.
Yep.
I mean, I think Battlefront's a good example where it's like, okay, the FIFA model works where it's
Yep.
like people are spending so much money on packs, which is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
It's insane how much money EA makes out of FIFA and the battle and the ultimate teams battle packs and stuff. So it's like
It's
if they
more
see
money
a
than what
trend,
countries make.
yeah, if they see a trend, they're gonna try to replicate it with their other games, which is why Madden does it, which is why Apex does it, which is why
Yep.
Battlefront does it,
Yep.
because it's like okay, it clearly works. But again, coming back to the topic at hand, as a community, we need to actually like look at what we're getting and
Yep.
analyze why is it that this is happening so that we can not only provide feedback but like vote with our wallets. Like if we don't like
Yep.
something that a developer or a publisher is doing, like we let them know either by not buying their next product or by reviewing their games and giving them poor scores. Like believe it or not, people still listen to these.
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless if you think IGN does a good job or not, like you still go and check out their review because you kind of want to get a feel of what's the word out there regarding the game.
Sure.
So
Absolutely. And sorry, go ahead, bro.
yeah, but at the end it doesn't matter how you game really. It's that we are all united in this pastime, and everything and every way that we invest in our pastime is gonna affect the way we get access to this pastime. So like
Yes.
Game Pass has been a hit, and what's going to happen most likely is that more platforms are probably going to go the Game Pass route, and I mean it wouldn't surprise me at all at this point because hey,
Yeah.
it's working and we
It's
like
working.
it, so we put money into it. So
It's true. It's true. And like
Mm.
again, like from what we talked about in the our first part of the philosophy of gaming, we
Mm.
kind of broke apart like the different types of gamers, from light mobile gamers to casual to competitive
Mm.
hardcore to professional gamers, right?
Mm.
But that's still, all those people are, they're just different parts of the gaming community. Like that's are all literally different parts of the gaming community. And
Yep.
whether or not, like, there's hundreds, there's thousands of players on a game, and you may have a team of three, and you may literally fight against every other player. Every other player is your enemy, right? that
Yep.
that doesn't mean that, like, you want to like ruin the game for every other player, because the whole point is that you guys are all playing this game together, right? So you want to have the best possible experience for everybody, right? Because that's going to give you the
Mm-hmm.
best possible experience as well. So we are definitely, even if we're all fighting, we're definitely all united in what we're doing, which is it's kind of like I said last time. It's like unity and conflict. Like we're all united in our pastime, and our hobbies and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Uh, and we all play different games, but at the end of the day, we play games.
We play
You may
games.
be playing Final Fantasy, the MMO, or Counter Strike, or FIFA, or Harvest Moon,
Yeah.
or Trailblazers. Is that the name of the game you're playing?
Trail makers.
Trailmakers. Yeah. It's at the end, the moment you start talking about games, guess what? You're probably gonna make a friend, and so that's the community as a whole.
Yeah, that's how Silly and I became super good friends, and now we have the internet to create even more friends.
Oh yeah, and speaking of which, if you want to become our friends, guess what? We do have a Discord server
Whoop, whoop.
available now. We've been getting this
Bow, bow,
request since we
bow.
basically started.
Yeah.
And shout out to all our fans on Twitch that have been like texting us and even sending us some DMs regarding our Discord server. It is ready to go. So the way we want to pass out the information, it's like whenever we're streaming, that would be the best way to like request being part of the Discord. We don't have a Patreon, we don't have anything like that, so we're really hoping that if you do want to be part of the Discord, it's because you want to be part of our community.
Yeah.
And get to know other players that want to play co-op games.
Yeah.
Because
We're a free to join community. Just hit us up, and we'll send you the invite.
Exactly, yeah. We'll send you the invite. There's going to be some rules and a few things that we would like everyone to follow. But at the end of the day, what we want to do is just create an environment where people can just play together. And, like if you need someone to squad up on Apex, hit up the Discord and see if any of us are available or all of these new friends. So, and of course, if you're a fan of any of our guests that we have in the past, they're also on the Discord too. So if you want to play with Luis and build shit, this is your chance. Yeah, shout out to Luis.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the fun things that I really want to do in the future, for example, a game like Warzone, you can create your own battle royale lobby, right? You just need, I think, at least 60 people or 50 people to make it. If we had one of those, then we could just all be like, all right, everybody meet in a center, and we're gonna like all blow up at the same time or do something dumb and stupid
that'd be sweet
and fun. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, and I mean, this Discord, what we want it also to be is a place where people can talk about the latest of gamings, try out new games maybe that have multiplayer or co-op.
Yeah.
And think of it like the environment we want is exactly what you would think of like back in the day when you go to recess and you talk with your friends about the latest games. You know? Before Twitter, before Facebook, before all this stuff, it's like you get together with your friends and you exchange information and then like just daydream a little bit about like, oh my God, I want to play that game so bad. Yeah. Well, now you can do this and possibly start playing that game right away with someone else. Yes. So that's, hopefully we'll get tournaments going on, and maybe like Master Rein said, matches where we can all play together. Yeah. I think that would be incredible. But just hit us up on whenever we stream. And I know we haven't been streaming lately, but we're definitely planning some big stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, it's still not something that's dead. We're definitely still we still are absolutely gearing up for sure, getting better and better as we go about bring you more and more and better streams.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, so now that we've established our personal gaming community and what the gaming community as a whole is, let's go into the sins of gaming.
The first sin. All right, let's talk about this, everybody. But for real, though, let's talk about the sins of gaming. It's time to talk
Mhm.
about the first sin. Bong. So, the very first sin of gaming that we need people to freaking stop doing is stop buying pre-orders. Stop it. Just
Thou shalt not.
thou shalt not buy pre-orders. Stop it. Get some help. But like, okay, I get it. If you got the cash to blow, I get it. It doesn't hurt your wallet. You know,
Nope.
I get it. If it does, I get it. I get it. If you're just like whatever,
Because we've done pre-orders before. I've definitely done pre-orders before.
I did a pre-order very recently that I got. It was very upsetting.
Mass Effect Legends. Anyway.
But dude, like, this has got to stop. Like, companies cannot, because you know what's happening? You guys? They are making all their money back based on hype with their marketing teams. So they probably are spending, I don't know this, right? This is my pure conspiracy speculation. But I believe that there are gaming companies out there that are spending way more money on their marketing budgets than they are for their developers who are actually making the damn game, so they can make a crap ton of money before it even freaking releases. So that way it's like, once it releases, it's like, oh, whatever, we'll fix the game and we'll do, we'll continue fixing it up. But the hype is there, right? The hype is already there. And damn it, did that not happen recently? Very, very recently.
Yeah, and like we mentioned before, if there's one way to protest is with your wallets, and by ordering pre-orders, there's this, companies will keep doing it because they get a nice influx of cash even before the game comes out. So yeah, like again, we don't want to mention the usual suspects, but it's not a coincidence that we all get hyped on a certain game, pre-order it, and then maybe we're disappointed with some way, shape, or form of the game. It's like you don't pre-buy a ticket for a movie unless you want to go see. I mean, I know you can do it, but how often do you actually do it? Like, you wait a little bit because you know you're gonna go see it anyways,
right?
But you wait. So it's like, why pre-order? And the less we pre-order, the more likely companies will do a better job developing their games. It's not a end-all be-all.
Amen to that, though.
But it's like, because they're, think about it economically. They need to provide a better product in order to get the money, right? Like, you're not going to go pre-order ice cream at this one place and they give you like a cone right now, and then later they'll give you the rest of the ice cream. Like, no, you want the damn thing as like exactly how the way you want it. You want the cone and you want your 2 scoops of ice cream because that's what you were promised, right? And so it should be the same way with games. It's like they wait till they're finished, the game comes out, and either you buy it the day it comes out, or you wait for the reviews and buy it after.
Yeah.
But pre-ordering, like, unless you're buying like the $100 special bonus pack, then I'd say go for it. Boom. In that case.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're just buying the $60 one, like, why are you pre-ordering it?
Exactly.
For the base game. Like,
listen to my man Silly right here. Exactly, dude. Like, and you know what's else? What else is worse? If it's a multiplayer game, like, for example, Anthem. Anthem. You know what happened at launch? You couldn't even get into the game. Excuse my language. Nope. You couldn't even load into a match. So if you had pre-ordered the game that very first day that you were super hyped to play it, you couldn't even load in, bro. So like, crap. So like that's exactly the reason why you shouldn't be pre-ordering these games. Like if especially if it's a online multiplayer game, those servers are gonna get janked up that very first day. It's happened like all the freaking time. So literally, like, again, what Silly said, unless it's like the special pack, the metal box or the figurine pack, or if there's only like 200 of a certain pack being made and it's signed by the main developer, blah blah blah. I get that. That's a collector's item, and if you're a collector and you see value in it, it has value to you, and definitely get it. That's legit. But if it's literally just the freaking disc or just the code to have it pre-downloaded to your system, that's not worth it. That is not worth it anymore.
Stop buying pre-orders.
Yeah. And honestly, now the Game Pass is in a place for us that it doesn't. This is why the Game Pass is such a magical thing, dude, because it doesn't.
And I feel like Xbox should like be sponsoring us at this point.
We are not sponsored by Xbox. Yeah,
no, we're not.
Bill Gates, and I'm just kidding. but legit though, that is the magic of the Game Pass. Not every single game is going to be on PC or all the consoles or whatever, right? However, being able to have access to certain games day one at launch and you can just play them is massive. And it's also Xbox's, Microsoft way of saying that we're promising to give you a good product. Because
exactly,
why else are you gonna be? Why are you gonna be paying $15 a month for like crappy game releases? You're gonna just stop paying it. What's the point, right? But if they're giving you content, legit games, right, and you're like, holy crap, this is awesome, you're gonna forget that you're paying it. It's like Netflix. At some point, people forgot they're paying Netflix, and some people went months without watching Netflix, right? That's Game Pass,
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, good point. So thou shalt not buy thou shalt not buy pre-order.
Or thou shalt stop pre-ordering. Let's call it like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So Master Rein, the second sin.
The second sin. Leaving matches too soon. Mother. All right, if you gotta go to the bathroom, your mom's calling you, your wife is calling you, your baby is like pooping all over the house and throwing up, you gotta leave the match. We're all biting the bullet there. I get it. But if you're in an online game and you're leaving in a match just because you got killed once, you got downed, or you're just upset because these bots suck that I'm playing with, like, what is your problem, man? Like,
if there's one thing that aggravates me, and I've played enough comp games on Counter-Strike to know this, when you're like halfway through the match and it's very even, and just one thing a teammate does that, like, it really pisses you off, but you need to like move on.
Yeah.
And someone leaves.
Yeah.
It's that's even more infuriating than the mistake that someone made.
It's so dumb.
And I know sometimes there's trolls too that you play with that are absolutely infuriating, but it's like leaving a match is such a bad. The only reason I can think of that's appropriate, or the only few reasons, is external things that are out of your control, like Master Rein said, like your mom's calling you or your wife is demanding, like stuff of that nature where it's like that's more important than the game. Like, I get it, but at least communicate with your teammates, like, hey, sorry, I gotta go. They're gonna be annoyed, but at least you told them, so guess what, they'll probably let you play with them next time.
Communication is key.
But if you just leave, forget it.
Yeah, seriously.
And it just bothers me so much. And even if you're with a team that is absolute crap, and I know we've had that experience before, you got to take that as a learning experience. There's always something to learn from those experiences, and it'll make you into a better gamer. So if anything, quitting a match halfway or even at the beginning is detrimental to you and other people that are playing with you. Because maybe sometimes they don't, like, how many times have we played like Apex or Counter-Strike and someone joins us and they just really don't know what they're doing, but they start asking questions or asking for help or saying, oh, I'm sorry, what should I do? Those are opportunities to teach other players how to play the game the proper way, or the way that we think they should be playing. And so guess what? Instead of a frustrating experience, it becomes a learning experience. You become a leader. You become someone that this person trusts, and you will take that with you every single game moving forward, and that person will now play better.
You might make a friend.
Like, yeah, you might make a friend. But if you're like, man, you suck. Oh my God, what are you doing? Like, that person's probably going to stop playing.
Yeah.
Hold up 1 second. Hello? I think they're just f***ing with me.
Do you need a second?
Speaking of leaving, give me 5.
Oh my God. if you're gonna quit a match because you're pissed off, and I get it, you might be really upset. You had a rough day. You just really wanted to win and you didn't. Don't leave in the beginning or the middle of the match, please. Like, can you just leave towards like the very end of the match, like when you know it's over, or at least just like take the beating and just know that it's part of the game, and you might lose a few rounds, and that's okay because that's part of multiplayer games sometimes, right? And of course, it is important to note that this sin is specifically goes to multiplayer games, but they're so big nowadays, you guys, that it's something that almost everybody has played. I mean, Among Us was massive, right? So there we have it. Like, quitting. Like, I get it. I get if you're upset. I get it. I've been upset. I've wanted to leave matches too soon. But it's just aside from a better term, it's a little bit toxic, right? So we can all do better with that, I guess. We can all do better, I think, a little bit with that regard. And I don't think it's a big problem for a lot of games, right? Like maybe like a Call of Duty 6-on-6 kind of match, like it's 5-on-6, it may not be so terrible, right? But if it's Apex or if it's like Warzone and one person leaves, that's a lot more painful. And like Silly said, there's definitely a lot of opportunities for learning and opportunities for helping other players grow. I used to play Destiny 2, not Destiny 1, not Destiny 2, the first Destiny. I used to help people with the raids, just because it was kind of hard to find groups sometimes, and there was no matchmaking for the raids. But I wanted to make sure that we can get the raid done. So I would teach people. We would say, hey, you're gonna step on this platform, you're gonna shoot that orb, and once the orb drops, we're all gonna move to the center. Then we're gonna shoot the big witch or whatever. It's part of the game. It's again, gaming community, all that kind of stuff. Hey, if this reaches you, my friend out there, that you're the kind of person that gets downed one time in Apex and you just like to leave, try staying in the match. You'd be surprised with some of the people you get matched with. Some rounds don't go your way. It is what it is. Some rounds may start really rough, but you're gonna win at the end, and you never know until you stick all the way through, my friend.
When you're playing with other people, you have to take into consideration other people's time. And again, like, I know there's trolls out there, and I know that sometimes it's a pain in the butt to play with certain people that are just toxic, but you have to, it's an opportunity to flex different skills, how to be more patient, how to take things not personally, again, like, take it as a learning experience. Like, there's been many games that I've absolutely wanted to quit because I could not stand a few teammates that all they were doing was ruining the fun for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that the moment I left, it wasn't going to help anyone, and it was just going to set a standard of sorts.
It'd make it worse.
It'll exactly. It'll just make it worse. So it's like, instead, like, you pull through, you play your game, and I mean, if you're gonna end up losing, you end up losing, but get something out of it. Like, if you know this game is going to be a wash, then work on your aiming, or work on your communication, or find something to latch on so that you don't quit. Because it's like when you work out, it's the same principle. Like, sometimes it's just so hard, you just want to like stop what you're doing and move on. But all it takes is maybe seeing it different, or changing the chip a little bit, to get something out of it. So a big sin, in my opinion. Please don't leave matches too soon, unless you have to. We have spoken.
Third sin. Bung, bung. Thou shall avoid leaking spoilers, motherfucker. All right, so spoilers. This is a place where it's kind of like we're gonna call it like sex. All right, the spoilers part is kind of like premarital sex, right? In the sense of like, oh, if you have sex before you're married, it's a sin, right? In the sense of getting married, it's when you play the game. That's the marriage part, right? So getting the information of the game before you get to play it, and what's gonna happen in the story. That's the spoiler. Mm-hmm. That's the premarital sex part, right? And it's dirty sometimes, and you want to see, and you want to jump in, and it's nasty or whatever, blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff. There's potentially a right way to do it, but damn it, like, You gotta be really careful with the way you're doing the spoilers, my friend. You gotta, and you know what? When it comes to spoilers too, you gotta treat them like freaking STDs too. Like, I hate that I'm comparing spoilers to sex, but like, you don't want to, like, you gotta compare to STDs. Like, you don't want to spread these things around, and if you have one, you want to make sure people know that you have it before you spread it around. So, now that I've said all
Mm-hmm.
that, there's a lot of situations recently where, especially with The Last of Us 2, is a very interesting situation with that one that we'll discuss in a future episode. But those spoilers came out, and that definitely ruined how well the game was perceived at the beginning. For sure,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Whether there's a disgruntled employee, whether there's whatever it may have been, right? It definitely changed the perception of the game, how it came out, right? There's also spoilers of movies that have come out that also do things like that, but the problem isn't so much in sharing spoilers, because I personally think it's okay. um it's in the manner that you share those spoilers. You don't want to forcefully share spoilers with people that they didn't want to be spoiled. That's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't want that information, right? They wanted to experience it for themselves, and you took it from them. That's wrong. There's just no other way to say it. But if they said, yes, I want to know what the information is, go ahead and tell me. They're now accepting the responsibility of accepting the information that their experience for the art form is going to be potentially ruined, right? That's their
Mm-hmm.
choice. So, silly thoughts on that. I kind of rambled there a little bit.
Hmm. It's. I mean, when it comes to spoilers, like I, I kind of want to use myself as an example a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and like I have. Okay, there's a few games that I've truly like ignored spoilers whenever they come out.
Mm-hmm.
It can be. I know we mentioned this, but The Last of Us 2 is one of those games where I
He did.
didn't go to Twitter.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah.
Like I heard about there was leaked stuff, but I didn't look it up.
He
I
was
didn't watch any videos.
pure.
Yep, I didn't look it up. I didn't watch any of the videos. Um I didn't even go on Twitter for a few days cuz I could tell that people were getting angry,
Yeah.
but I really tried hard not to like read the tweets or completely. Actually, at one point I think I muted some people just because I didn't want to like ruin it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the YouTubers that I watched had opinions about it, and I ignored it completely. Just by the thumbnail, it was like, okay, they're clearly mad about something. And so, at the end of the day, if spoiler alert, if you haven't found out yet, but most of the people were mad that Joel was gonna die. Especially in the beginning.
Especially in the beginning of the game. Yeah.
I did not find out until I played the game, and my experience with that event was very, like, I was mad, but I wasn't mad at the developers for the game. I was mad because the game wanted me to be mad. And so because I didn't come with this preconceived notion that how dare the developers do this to my one favorite character. It's like I went in with the expectation of the game is gonna take me for a ride, and I'm willing to take this ride. And so, again, not going into details about the game because I think this is a whole other topic that we should talk about. But my experience with the game felt more, or at least I hope it was more of what the developers wanted me to feel. Can you imagine like a big announcement that was supposed to come out like in E3 all of a sudden be leaked? And so what happens is like I'm trying to think of like a good example, but it's like at the end of the day, oh, here's a good example. Avengers the Infinity War. Someone spoiled for me the ending where like everyone disappears.
Oh, uh-huh.
The snap.
Uh-huh.
Someone spoiled the snap to me. And I was so pissed because this guy was like, this person he put a photo on Facebook, and it's one of those things where I'm just like scrolling and hitting like to stuff, and then I see it, and immediately my mind goes, "Oh no!"
Yeah, yeah. You
And I wrote to the person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I exactly. You connect a lot of dots because obviously a lot of people are talking about that oh my God, Avengers, it was so good, blah, blah, blah. Like it's hard not to connect the dots. And then this guy put a picture of Spider-Man disappearing.
Yeah.
Or putting like
That's messed up. That's messed up.
And this is literally like,
that's like spreading gonorrhea and not telling people.
Yeah. It was literally like 3 days after the premiere. I was going to watch that movie the next day. Yeah. And so I go and watch the movie. I still think it was great, but I already knew what was going to happen. And so even though it was still shocking, deep down I was still mad.
Yeah.
It's like, dang it. And I wasn't even mad because of what was going to happen. I was mad because someone spoiled it for me. And I called him out and I told him, dude, why the heck would you put this on Facebook when there's people out here that haven't watched the movie? And the guy said, I couldn't help myself. Really? You couldn't help yourself?
Couldn't help yourself, bro. Wait a week. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was so emotional. It's like and this is someone that,
yeah.
and this was someone, and again, apologies for this person if you listen to the podcast and you're like, hey, that was me. It's
man, like, you fucked up, bro.
Yeah, like you were an adult at that moment in time. You should have just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Like maybe like wrote like, oh my God, that ending, or something vague. But putting a picture of Peter Parker disappearing before anyone watched him, it's just like, oh my God.
Oh, I know. It's one of the worst spoilers like you could possibly put. Literally one of the worst spoilers that you could possibly.
One of the worst spoilers, yeah. And so it's just infuriating. And again, I'm not mad at the movie. I'm not mad at the creators. I was mad at the person that spoiled it for me.
Right.
So it's just like, it took away my own gasp moment. Right. Like, whoa.
Now, even if we call, don't leaks, don't create leaks or whatever, don't spoil, stuff. Even if we're saying that that's a sin or whatever, it doesn't mean that like people are gonna stop doing it. Like it's gonna always happen. Yeah. Which is why it's good to have important like rules in your back of your head. As like, for example, if something comes out that you love and you don't want to be spoiled, it's probably best to stay offline for the first until you can go and experience it yourself, right? If it's a game or a movie, if it's a game and you're not gonna be able to play it for like a month or two, I'm really sorry, but you're
gonna have a hard time.
You're gonna have a hard time.
You can
do it. It's possible. It is possible to avoid spoilers. But you have to keep in mind if it's a piece of entertainment that's been out for a month, you kind of can't help but get spoilers because memes are out there. People want to do videos and stuff like that, and they want to talk about it. Like it's gonna get out, right? However, I think we can all agree that if you give some format of entertainment at least a week before you start posting the biggest things to your status on Facebook, I think we can all agree that 1 week is like enough time. For example, for a movie, a week is a lot of time, right? Or maybe for video games, like a week may not be that much that amount of time, like that good enough time or whatever. But with the video games, like again, you're just gonna have to, if you don't want to be leaked, you're gonna have to go out and avoid them because people are leaking them. But however, as a gaming community, if we can get better about not leaking games or making sure that we're going to share it leak so people can avoid it, put a bunch of like asterisks or something or whatever and be like, spoilers, do not watch it, do not read it if you don't know about blah, 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 then people have a better time of avoiding spoilers. But it's just a matter of like being respectful to your neighbor, being respectful to your fellow gamer. Like, if you don't want to get something spoiled, same as them, right? But if they choose it, you choose it. Hey, that's on you at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I spent, okay, believe it or not, I went years without watching reviews or videos regarding Metal Gear Solid 4.
You did. You did.
Master Rein is a witness. Yeah. I beat the game. And
it's true.
And he was there with me when I beat the game, and my God, it was an experience.
It's true. I remember watching it. Yep, it's true. He did a really good job avoiding those spoilers.
Yeah, like it was. Wow, like that ending was incredible. It was everything I hoped for in Metal Gear. It was like, if I remember, it was like almost an hour's worth of cutscenes.
At the end, yeah. At the end, yeah.
But it was like I was able to truly enjoy it and get my mind blown and everything. And it's like, you can do it. So anyone who's like thinks like, oh, that's impossible in this climate. It is possible, but you have to be like...
You have to be mindful, I guess.
Yeah. You have to be mindful of like basically who you follow, and on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that, and just sometimes you just gotta ignore certain people, mute them for a little bit, but
Yeah.
it is possible. But yes, a great sin, because at the end of the day, it also ruins people's livelihoods. It really can.
It really can.
So,
It really can. Yeah, especially if it's a movie that you're like, oh, I'm not gonna give it a chance because so and so happened and I don't agree with it, and bam, there you have it. Yeah, yeah,
yep.
yeah,
There's a reason why companies hate these leaks. It's because it really does affect them financially.
yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, like you're, like that's not that like, yeah. So I think I don't want to say anything else because it's I think the point is clear.
Yeah, for sure.
And at the end of the day, this sin needs to be.
Yeah.
We need to be more conscient. We need to be more mindful about this sin, and really be mindful of what we, of really, like, do we really need to find out the spoiler or not?
Right, right. And you know what's funny? So I think certain publishers, certain developers actually want to leak certain information to kind of gauge out what the audience feeling is going to be out there. Rumor has it, article, and they see what the comment says and see what people are reacting. But that's them putting it out there, and it's usually soft leaks and soft rumors and stuff like that. Nothing too
like the Dead
hard.
Space one. There's a rumor that EA wants to revive Dead Space.
Right.
Like, oh,
Right.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then you see the trailer and it's like, holy crap, they're doing it. Like, it was amazing. Like, that's the type of leak that it's not gonna cost anyone any jobs. It's still surprising. Like, you're leaking the release of a possible game. You're not leaking details.
It's
of
a
the
possibility.
game.
Like, it's a possibility. Yeah. It's not even. It's not a hard fact that was leaked in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you know what, people? That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. I know this was a lot to chew.
It was dense.
So, yeah, it's very dense, but I think you get the idea. It's like we talked about a gaming community and what's it about, and what we tend to like. What's a gaming community and who's a part of it. We've talked about the 3 sins of gaming that we think should, are incredible sins.
Yeah.
And then stuff to get mad about and putting into context. And I know a lot of this is connected, but the reason that it's connected is because at the end of the day, it's about us gamers coming together and playing the stuff that we love to play, and spending time on this hobby that we love and brings value to our lives. At least we think that way. Like, I wouldn't have my friends if it weren't for video games. I wouldn't be here with Master Rein if it weren't for video games.
True.
So
facts.
So yeah, just thank you so much, everyone. Just just let us know what you think. Really, if you have any opinions, if you're on our Discord, please let us know what you thought. If there's anything that we should change or change, we're also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Let us know, please, what you think there. And follow us. We're also available on all podcasting platforms. And remember, of course, to leave us a comment.
Yeah, so next time with our next episode of Philosophy of Gaming Part 3, we're going to talk about some of the monetary practices within the industry, and rant a little bit more with what we think that, more things that we should be pissed off about.
Basically,
But again, if we direct our aggression in the right way, we're going to get better products, is what I believe.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree too. And it may sound like it's a continuation of this podcast, but we'll really try to, get some good examples, bring in like some games that we think did this poorly and maybe some games that did this correctly.
Yeah.
And really offer our insights to what can be done better in the future.
Yes.
And what to get mad about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And feel free to disagree with us. I'm happy if you disagree with us.
Totally.
Comment, find us, reach out to us, let us know what you disagree with. That's the whole point of the community, is that we have these communications, that we have these talks.
Exactly. Anyway, this is Cillian Master Rein signing out. And remember, always heal your teammates before they die.
Peace, everybody.